All right, good morning, Truckee. Good morning. My name is Raven Whittington. I'm an attorney with Porter, Simon Law, Sierra Injury Lawyers. We have a packed program this morning, so we're going to make things quick in the introductions. We're going to hear from the Truckee Cultural District, the Truckee Roundhouse, Art Education in the Schools, the Public Art Commission of Truckee, the Truckee Community Theater, and the Town of Truckee. So, going to do our presenting sponsors. Actually, this morning we may just take a look at the board here. So here are all our sponsors. Thank you for making this possible. We really appreciate it. And then thank you also to the committee that puts this together, Kellie Cutler, Naomi Peacock, Ernie Grossman, Gerald Herrick, Tony Lashbrook, Jim Porter, Deb Ryan, Ted Owens, and Jess Carr. Without further ado, let's go around the room and introductions. Kellie.
Good morning, everyone. Cutler with the Truckee.
Corliss with Public Art Commission.
Hilary,
Sorry.
Corey Caldwell from the TTUSD.
Let's jump back here so we don't forget your table. All right, jump in the back there. Want somebody from your table? Yeah. How about you? James Llewellyn Porter. Yeah. You don't show it. Also a lawyer.
Not a lawyer.
Mom of a lawyer.
Friends of the, that's true too. Friends of the library.
Delana Ryan, Truckee.
Cutler, Jennifer. Pamela Grant.
Great.
Good morning, Sarah Doobie with Gallery 5830. Nicole with the Friends of the Library.
Jessica Penman, presidency of the Truckee.
Thompson with the Truckee Tahoe Community Chorus and father of an intern.
Oh, there you go. Welcome. Proud, I'm sure. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. We're going to start the program, and because we have so many speakers, let's hold all the questions for the end, and if the speakers are hanging around afterwards, you can ask. We are going to start with Kellie Cutler, who is with the Truckee Cultural District and is also a Truckee Chamber Board member.
Yes,
Kellie?
I am. Good morning, everyone. Let me just pull up my notes here. Yeah, okay, thank you. Jump in the notes here on the side. Oh, the arrows. Okay, thank you, Marissa. It's great to see a lot of our creative community and leaders in the audience today, as well as Congressman Kylie's office, and I'm glad I included that slide. Good morning, and thank you for inviting the Truckee Cultural District, the Truckee Roundhouse, as well as the TTUSD and the Public Art Commission PACT to discuss the important work that we're all doing in the creative sector and the positive impacts this work has on our community and our economy. This is a team effort. We're united in a shared vision of building, supporting, and contributing to Truckee's unique creative ecosystem. So those of you that aren't familiar with the fact that we are one of 14 cultural districts, this is a really special designation. I'm going to talk a little bit about what that looks like. Aligning with the mission and values of the California Arts Council, the California districts will celebrate the diversity of California while unifying under an umbrella of shared values, helping to grow and sustain authentic grassroots arts and cultural opportunities, increasing the visibility of local artists and community participation in local arts and culture, and promoting socioeconomic and ethnic diversity. Districts will also play a conscious role in tackling issues of artist displacement. So I just want to, you can see the map of the 14 cultural districts there and where we are placed. And the special thing about our designation is that we're the only rural county in the state of California that has 2 cultural districts. It's the Truckee Cultural District as well as the Grass Valley, Nevada City Cultural District. We also refer to the Grass Valley, Nevada City Cultural District as the GVNC. California cultural districts are established around the central tenet of creative placekeeping, which requires intersectorial partnerships between local government. We're really proud of these partnerships. We meet on a monthly, now every other month basis. The town of Truckee is part of our partnership, as well as the Truckee Chamber, the Truckee Downtown Merchants Association. Thanks for being here today, Corey and Michelle. The Truckee Arts Alliance represents the voice of our creative community and our local artists, really important components to our cultural district. And the Nevada County Arts Council, my employer, manages the California Arts Council grant. They're also our fiscal umbrella. The cultural district's primary role is to highlight the thriving cultural diversity and unique artistic identities within local communities across California. A little bit of a snapshot in some of the things that we're working on. So also the role of the cultural districts is advocacy, and that is really prevalent in the month of April, which is designated as Arts, Culture, and Creativity Month. And there's a lot of activity in Sacramento right now with the Summit and Arts Advocacy Day actually happening tomorrow. So as most of you know, with effective advocacy, economic indicators are really important to have in your tool belt. And these indicators are our best advocacy tools. Fortunately, we have really great tools around the arts, as well as specifically to Nevada County with the Arts and Economic Prosperity Study. Some of you may remember the study when Randy Cohen, who's the VP of Research and Statistics with Americans for the Arts, who we partner with on this study, came to Truckee in 2018 to present the AEP 5, excuse me. So this is the 6, just released last month, and Randy actually did come to Nevada City to show these statistics. It's a nationwide longitudinal look at how the creative economy drives key business, key tourism, and workforce factors at a local, statewide, and national level. There were 400 participants across the country with AEP 6. It represented a year-long study of Nevada County's creative sector, during which, in partnership with Americans for the Arts, we engaged and surveyed 120 arts organizations, over 1,000 audience surveys. And we have some pretty impressive numbers to share. I actually have a report. If any of you are interested, the Truckee Cultural District office is at the new lift, which is towards the airport. It's a dedicated space. We're one of the anchor tenants. I have copies of this study in that office. Come see me. I'm there 5 days a week. So here's a summary of the findings. In Nevada County, the arts and culture sector generated $66 million in economic activity during that 2022 to 2023 year. $31.9 million in spending by arts and culture organizations, That economic activity supported over 1,000 jobs and generated $13.2 million in tax revenue to local, state, and federal governments. The number that was really impressive was our visitors are spending $73 per event, and that was above the national average. So Randy Cohen was super impressed with these statistics, and we are as well. And this is not only a catalyst for advocacy at the county level, but all of the arts organizations in this room that are applying for grants, whether they're local or state or federal, should be absolutely using these demographics to support their mission and how important the arts are as an economic driver in our community. Okay. The AEP 6 findings are useful as we engage our legislators, particularly in April. I mentioned California Arts, Culture, and Creativity Month around topics that strengthen our creative sector here in Truckee. Tomorrow, Arts Advocacy Day, I'll be in Sacramento along with other Nevada County Arts Council staff. We actually have appointments with Senator Brian Dahle, Assemblywoman Megan Dahle, Assemblyman James Gallagher, Senator Mike McGuire, Assemblymember Jim Wood, and Senator Marie Alvarez Gill to talk about the importance of the arts in our communities, continuing to fund the cultural districts, arts and education, arts as workforce development and pathways. So here's our call to action, and here's that slide I was talking about. What can you do here in Truckee to support the arts? We've got this great Spring into Art campaign I'll be talking about next, but recognize artists as second responders who help put people's lives back together, are essential workers in our society and our economy, helping us recover, reflect, and rebuild. The arts are a thought leader. We are a solution partner, and we're actually starting to talk about arts on prescription. That's a whole nother presentation, but think about it. We cross sectors in so many ways right now, post-pandemic. Speak up for the role of artists in creating awareness for society's most critical issues and solutions, what I just talked about. Show up for local artists and support local arts organization during Arts, Culture, and Creativity Month in April. Here is that campaign, and I hope that you've all seen it. It was jump-started, thank you to the town of Truckee, on March 26, declaring April as Arts, Culture, and Creativity Month alongside Californians for the Arts and Nevada County. It's part of a countywide campaign. We have over 20 events happening. That events calendar can be found at nevadacountyarts.org, but also there's a link on Truckee.com, which really is our primary events calendar here in Truckee. I hope all of you know that. The SEO for Truckee.com is really amazing and should be used for all of our events. So that's where we populate a lot of our events, as well as the NCAC events calendar. We included a flyer for one of our marquee events, which is Patricia Egan's Art Salon at Gallery 9848 Truckee Artist Lofts. I'm encouraging all of you to attend this event Saturday, April 27th. It's from 4 to 6. Do not miss. This is one of our most brilliant creative literary artists in our community, and this is an event worth attending, so mark your calendars. What comes next? We've got some heavy lifts this year, particularly our Arts and Culture Master Plan. This is something that we committed to with the California Arts Council, and it keeps us competitive when we go for redesignation. So really important to achieve that. We actually have our proposals, we're reviewing them. The RFP went out, the deadline was last Friday. We'll announce who that consultant is the end of this month, and it involves community engagement as well as a roadmap for community action, regional marketing plan. Stay tuned. Okay, last slide. I've got some announcements to make, but this is my favorite slide because this is the great work that we do. This is where the rubber meets the road and getting the money into our community. So we launched a mini grants program for special events. And basically what we're doing is we're re-granting $20,000 that came through the Truckee Cultural District budget. And we have some recipients here in the room that I want to announce. And so, like I said, I mean, the Truckee Cultural District is about supporting and showcasing the great work that's being done in our community by our creative sector and then getting out of the way. $5,000 is going to Patricia Egan at the Truckee Artist Loft's 9848 Gallery for her two-part art salon series centered around Earth Day. Congratulations, Patricia. Karen Stanley doesn't know this yet, but $5,000 to the Truckee Roundhouse for the amazing work they do with the Dream Maker Show in 2024, which we really want to be a participant in. And then I don't think Trails and Vistas is in the room, and Jean may not be happy about me announcing this before reaching out to her, but $5,000 to Trails and Vistas for celebrating 20 years. We're so grateful in the community with the World Concert, the Dreaming Tree Field Trips program. And I also want to thank Jessica Penman, who's providing leadership on the committee for reviewing these grants, as well as Jen Stontiner with Mountain Forge. Thank you.
Kellie Cutler with the Truckee Cultural District, thank you very much. And up next, we have Karen Stanley with the Truckee Roundhouse. Welcome.
Well, I'm normally not a morning person, but waking up for Kellie for the grant was definitely worth it. Thank you, Kellie. And actually, we are so grateful for the Nevada County Arts Council for all the support that they do for the arts organizations in the area. So thank you. Thank you for the advocacy. Kellie asked me to speak a little bit about how we can all spring into art, how we can be creative. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Truckee Roundhouse and how everyone in this room can unlock their creative potential. I'd like to apologize a little bit in advance because when I was uploading and downloading my presentation, the fonts decided to unlock their creative potential. So you're going to see a little bit of exciting stuff going on. Just so I get a read of the room, how many folks have attended something at the Truckee Roundhouse or class? Okay, so a good number of you. I am very excited to talk about my favorite place in Truckee, and I hope it will become your favorite place, if not already. So a little bit of background about the Truckee Roundhouse. It was a group of volunteers who founded it in 2015 and then fundraised for 2 years to dream and scheme and make it a reality. We would not have been possible without the support of the Truckee Airport, who believed in a space for our community to come together to be creative. So we are constantly grateful that they supported creativity early on and continue to support it. So our volunteers, like I said, they dreamed and schemed for 2 years. They opened at the end of 2016. We're now in our 8th year in operation. We have over 333 members that use the space, ranging in age from 8 to 82. It's pretty cool to get in there and see all the different projects that folks are working on. We, as an organization, we definitely believe that creative spaces are important for a healthy community, and we work with individual and community funders to make sure that a space like this is affordable to the community. And I'll highlight some of those funders at the end, including Nevada County Arts Council. So in addition to our funders, we have over 40 regular volunteers that give over 8,000 hours to make sure that our space is, again, affordable and accessible. Those folks host the space, they fix the machines, they keep it clean, and so we truly are a community-driven, community-providing organization. Talk a little bit. So Our board recently has created our vision statement, which is to empower people to explore their creative potential and build a more connected, inspired, and vibrant world. As you can see, we have some vibrant, inspired makers here. We do kids camps, different classes, and then we have a member working in ceramics. So Kelly, like I said, had asked me to talk about how we can get creative. I know a lot of folks know about certain aspects of what we do, but maybe they don't recognize the full scope of what we do. So we have public classes, membership, our education and community enrichment program, and special events. Our public classes are open to anybody. You do not need to be a member to use the space, but our members do get discounts. We offer classes in our 5 shops: wood, metal, technology, textiles, and ceramics. We were really lucky to use our kind of downtime during COVID to create curriculum in those classes, because one of the challenges we faced when we first opened our doors is that everyone was super excited to come use the Makerspace, but we didn't necessarily have those pathways to get you from a beginning woodworker to someone who could use the space through membership. Classes are awesome because maybe you don't have the time to use the space as a regular member, and you can just pop in and take a fun class. Membership. Membership, we're open about 50 hours of the week for members to come in and use the space as a creative gym. Membership is for folks that have tool proficiency, and if you don't have tool proficiency, we encourage you to take one of our classes. As you can see here, we've got Ralph Backstrom from Pacific Crest working on some signage for his shop. A lot of his shop was actually handmade in the space, and he supports local artists to create mugs and things that he sells in his shop. Pacific Crest is a huge supporter of the space, and we feel very proud that we've been able to support his business kind of from the ground up. You've got Nick Palinko from Tahoe Modern working on a van build out. Another member, Liz, working on some of her textiles projects, and a member, Trish, working on her ceramics. We do, during our membership hours, we do not offer any classes, so that when you come in to work on your projects, you can be as noisy and messy as you want, and so that when you come in for your classes, you can know that it's going to be a quiet, clean environment. And it's pretty incredible. Like I said, we have 333 members who used the space over 5,000 times last year. And it's just so amazing to see everything from young kids working on school projects to folks working on special things for their houses. The thing that we're particularly proud of, and we don't talk, I think, enough about, is our education and community enrichment program. This is where we partner with different school and community groups to do specialized programs. Sometimes groups will come in and they'll just say, hey, we want to learn woodworking, but other times they'll have a very specific project that they want to work on. Recently, we worked with Yo Bro, which is a service organization out of Truckee High, to weld a bike rack for regular and electric bikes. It's going to kind of be in the hang loose sign, and you'll see it popping up. That was funded by Rotary to help them come in and work on that project. So they came in with a very specific project, and we provided the experts and the materials to make it a reality. We're also particularly proud of a program that we're running with Sierra High and Truckee River School, in which they come in for 6-week programs to work on wood, metal, textiles in the space. So we're excited about that. So we do our school and education and community enrichment programs on kind of a pay it forward model. So we do have grant funding to be able to support any group that wants to come in. So if you have a group that you want to bring into the space, please don't let financial barrier be the reason that you don't reach out to us. We can always work with you. We just ask that if you bring your group back for a future year, that you fund it for yourself, so that we can kind of refill those grant fundings and create accessibility for everyone. Something I forgot to mention about the classes is that we did launch a scholarship program this year. So we offer $275 stipends per quarter for individuals to come in and use the space. We have an application for that on the website as well. So again, if you know folks that want to use the space, please don't let financial barrier be the reason why you don't reach out. Events are another way that folks interact with our space. We're really excited. We have our biannual Fix It Clinic happening on April 29th from 4 to 7. This is a great event where people bring their broken, they're weary, they're worn down, and see if our expert fixers can help them out. Often, I think we have about like an 80% success rate of fixing things. And then sometimes I think we're just giving folks permission to send the broken item into the waste stream. Another partnership that we have with Keep Truckee Green is we have monthly mending and repair workshops. We have another one coming up on April 19th. So these are free workshops that kind of came out of the realization that so many of our community members were bringing clothing to our Fix It events. And so we wanted to empower our community to repair instead of discard. And so we're really proud of that partnership with Keep Truckee Green to empower our community members to fix and repair. New this year, we've launched an LGBTQIA craft workshops. These are all free workshops for our community. The reasoning behind this is we didn't see that there was a lot of workshops to support this. There was a lot of opportunities for this community to gather, and we wanted to show up as an ally to create that space. And we've also seen what meaningful relationships are built out of creating together. It seems to be a great connector and unifier. And so all of these workshops are free. We just ask that you sign up in advance so that we know that you're coming, and they're all on our website. And then I, of course, have to mention our upcoming Maker Show. Our Maker Show is our largest outreach and fundraising event of the year. I know that some of you in this room are participating this year or have participated in the past, so thank you for that. Our vision for this event is really to just be this incredible celebration of creativity for our community. In the past few years, we've been inviting all of the different art educators to come and participate. So we hope we'll see you out there on Sunday, June 9th from 9 to 11. I'll just fly through these really quick. So these are the upcoming classes that we have available for folks to attend that there's still space in. You'll see that most of these are textiles, and that's because our wood and metal classes are extremely popular. So we encourage you, if you're interested in participating in any of our classes, to sign up for our newsletter, which you can do on our website. And then, like I said, I want to thank our community sponsors. These are the folks that make our space possible. Our space is 50% subsidized by private and public donations. These folks believe that our community is a healthier community when we are creative and connected and together. And so I truly want to emphasize how grateful we are for these folks for believing in the Truckee Roundhouse and making it all possible. And if you haven't been to the Truckee Roundhouse, we have tours every Saturday at 1 p.m. If you're lucky, you might get our board chair, Scott Montgomery, to lead the tour. But this is also our contact information if you want to find out any more about the Truckee Roundhouse. Thanks.
Aaron Stanley with the Truckee Roundhouse, thank you. And up next we have Callie Martin, who's with the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District, fine arts teacher. Welcome.
Thanks. Good morning. I am a morning person. I would be about 45 minutes into class right now on a regular school day. So I am very honored to be speaking here. You can imagine I don't talk in front of a group of adults very often, senior awards, maybe open house. Some of you have your students. I'm excited to not have to ask anyone to put their phones away this morning. So that was a draw for me. My name is Callie Martin. I teach at Truckee High School. I teach art, ceramics, and AP art. I'm the only one. Hopefully we'll have someone else with Prop 28 just passing. Yay. What I'm going to talk to you about today is the how I teach this subject of art, and the bigger reason, like the why. And I think that's what a lot of artists in the room, or just people in the room, can connect to. So when I was preparing this slideshow, I have students in my room at all times of the day, and they saw that image of me in the apron throwing on the wheel. It was fake. I wasn't even throwing. And they said, Miss Martin, you look exactly the same. That was 2008 when you started teaching, and I was wearing that same apron. So I got ruthlessly shamed that maybe I need a new apron after my 16 years. So this is little me. My identity has always been an artist. It's just been who I am since that young age. And as you can imagine, growing up an artist and then becoming a high school art teacher, it's not the most glamorous job on the planet. I know it might seem like it. I start very early. The hours are long. There's a ton of emotional needs in my classroom. I come home and usually shut down for an hour after school. So for me, the why I do it every day is one of the most important things. And whenever I feel really burnt out, I have to go back to the why. And the why, let me skip to this slide real quick. My goal is to teach students to think like an artist. So when we go back to how art education was kind of mainstreamed or streamlined. In the 1980s and 2000s, some of you might remember this term. This is when I was growing up and being taught art in school. We focused on discipline-based art education. It was a way to kind of legitimize the subject of art in a classroom. We focused on elements of art, line, shape, space, color, texture, and value. We learned art history, the classic artists that we think of. And we were taught foundational skills, like how to be better at something, drawing, painting. And those were all very testable subjects, hence my Scantron image. It was a way for teachers to have a tactile way to grade students. And what that produced was this onslaught of what we call now cookie cutter art. And it's sweet, right? I have a son that's 9. I love it when he brings home something like this, like Claude Monet, bring it. But that's not what we do as artists in the real world, right? Nobody is in your studio telling you, today, Callie, you're gonna use charcoal, and I think you should draw a pine cone with that charcoal. That's just not the way that artists function in society. So when I started teaching in 2008, and I had only learned DBAE throughout school, I started questioning what's the purpose of teaching art in school, and what's the purpose for students, right? Students are my main goal every day. So this is the painting that I always go back to. It actually hangs in my classroom by my desk. This was an artwork done by a 9th grader in 2008, done in school. It was a boarding school. We did this project that was an identity map. I still do the project. If you've been to my open house, you might have seen me do my identity map. I draw in an expo marker on the board. I tell the story of my life and important events in front of students, and then I challenge them in a way to make their own. She came to me and said, well, Miss Martin, can I watercolor? I'm like, I just drew an expo marker on the board. I thought you'd do Sharpie or pencil. And I said, yes. And then she said, can I collage? And I said, yes. She needed me to print things for her. And then she made this. So this piece just blew me away. The quick story behind it, her mother died 6 months before she made this. And these trees down at the bottom were her last memory of walking through the woods of New Mexico with her mother. She told us this in class. This poem in the upper corner was a poem that her father read to her as a little girl. And then she included the Claire de Lune sheet music, which is why her parents named her Claire. So that piece alone was my goal, right? You see a student make that and you're like, why am I teaching you how to draw an egg? Which I just did that last week, so I'll talk about that in a minute. But these are the goals that you go for as an art teacher. And we still are in contact. She is pregnant with her first baby. I asked her if I could use this painting today. And she was like, of course. She said to use her full name. I think she's proud of it still. So going back to the artist teacher, this is kind of the title I've given myself. It started through grad school when I was doing research on the importance of remaining an artist while you're also a teacher. It's one of those unique subjects. I don't know if math teachers feel like this, but I know when I'm not producing art, there's something lacking in my teaching. So that's where that concept came from, of teaching students to think like an artist. It's kind of like the core of what I think about every day. Would an artist do that in their studio? And then you probably all have seen graphics like this. I will always have these plastered to everywhere. But art is such a well-rounded subject. It really teaches students and adults all of these important skills: critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, resiliency. The only two that are kind of on that brain image that we think of as typical are creativity and imagination. And that's that word that I hear all the time, but there's so much more to an art artist and an art education. So this is research that I conducted in 2013 and 15 through MICA, Maryland Institute College of Art. This is kind of what the data correlated of like what makes a quality arts education. And you'll see on this list, there's very little about skill building. So students need exploration and experimentation. We need to encourage that. If you have any connection to AP or the College Board, that's like how they score AP portfolios now. They want to see your material use and your experimentation. Students need trust. They need to be encouraged to take risks. We need time to make meaningful work. You're not going to make a masterpiece in an hour and a half in one class period. They need acknowledgement of artwork done outside of class. That happens every day in my classroom. I cannot tell you. I see like the sketchbooks of like, look what I did last night, Miss Martin, while I was binging Netflix. They need to be treated like an artist. That's a big component of my classroom. Positive reinforcement, and then safety. They need mental and physical safety. So I'm going to speed up a little bit because I know my time. I'm used to teaching for an hour and a half, so 10 minutes is like, what? So here's my egg, right? This is the skill builders. This was last week in my classroom. So I don't want you to think that like all day, every day, it's just choice-based and students are running amok, but they kind of do. This is something that they're learning value. So this is a really simple project. We actually print out photos of their own eye. They trace on a light box, so there's no skill there. They're learning proportions still, but then they're just trying to fill in values. So I do still teach projects like this, but this isn't the art. This is the skill that comes before the artwork. And then they're making things like this. So this is completely self-directed. This is a 9th grade student. I did not ask his permission before I showed this, so hopefully his mom's not here. He is an amazing artist, regardless of what I'm doing with him in class. But he chose to take that value skill and create this expressive self-portrait with no instruction, really, from me. So they learn the skills, and then they make art that's meaningful to them. He gave these to me. He doesn't even like them, which is crazy. And then we can go to students like this. So Alexa's in 11th grade now. I've had her for 9th and 10th grade. This is part of her AP portfolio this year. She's making these in like beautifully, obviously we can see they're beautifully rendered colored pencil drawings. But she learned all these skills in foundational classes, and then she's applying them to meaningful work. So this is from her. I asked her to write a blurb, so I didn't speak on her behalf. So she says that her goal for these pieces is to illustrate the complex issues within cultural identity by employing contrasting visual elements, such as symbolic metaphors, vivid colors, and personal memories. The overarching implication is how first-generation Latinos constantly combat the feelings of imposter syndrome and how they embrace cultural differences. So again, it's too early to cry. If this is late in the afternoon, I'd be crying. That's like the goal, right? This is like a goal situation. She's making this artwork that's so meaningful to her, and she's just doing amazing things. I can't wait to see what she gets on the portfolio. So that leads me to kind of the how I teach these classes. And this is a question that we talk about in my classes, and I've talked to with adults. Can you remember a time where you felt under or unrepresented? This was a trip I took last spring to the Nevada Museum of Art, where it was the Adeline Kent show. And this group of students that I took asked me when we were there, like, when was the last time you saw a show that was a female artist? And I kind of struggled a little bit. I've been to Casa Azul. That's like Frida's house. Of course, it's her show. So I couldn't really answer it. And that brought me to this idea of like representation in the classroom. Some of you might have seen this image before by Guerrilla Girls. This changed my young world in college when I saw this. And I show this to students, and it kind of gets them thinking about like the how and why I show the artists that I do. And for me, I was always interested in female artists. I was a painter. I wanted to see people that I recognized in their artwork. So that was my early on kind of exploration, I guess, with representation. But then you come to a school like Truckee High School, and my last high school was similar in demographics. And you realize that like the representation needs to be broader than just showing Van Gogh, which I love Van Gogh, so no offense. So half of our student population is female. Of course, I want to show a lot of female artists. We have 32, almost 33% Hispanic or Latino. We have 26% socioeconomically disadvantaged. So I'm thinking about this as I'm kind of designing the curriculum and wanting students to feel that representation in the classroom. So that idea led me to the concept of theme teaching. Is that 2 minutes? 1 minute? Okay. Which is the concept of beginning with presenting a student with a question or topic to inspire thought. The student considers the theme and then generates a series of possible solutions. That's my goal in the classroom, and these are some of the themes that I use with students. So that themes are very big and broad, so any student can take something like, stress. We can all relate to stress. What can I do with that? Right now, the theme they're working on right now is fear. We all have these fears. How can we put them into an artwork? And then these are just some of the artists that I use in my classroom. Again, for those big themes. So Carmen Lomos Garza represents culture, family, identity. Kehinde Wiley, same, identity. And then Ai Weiwei, challenging tradition. So these are some of the benefits. I won't go through the big list. Obviously, I would love to talk more about this. I'm very passionate about it. The end concept, I guess, of this is I don't believe in art. I believe in artists. That's my role every day. I have to help these young artists figure out how to use their voice. So thank you for having me. Here's another list if you want that.
Thank you, Callie Martin from the Truckee Unified School District. And up next, we have Troy Corliss from the Public Art Commission of Truckee. Troy, welcome.
Yep. Okay. Well, I had two very influential art teachers in high school. So by the time I was done with high school, I was hell-bent and determined to go on to art school. And I picked that even over being a full-time rock climber, which is a really big choice. So, the seeds that the high school students are getting, you never know where those are going to go. So I'm really glad to see that. So I'm Troy Corliss, chair of the Public Art Commission of Truckee. Just so I can get a sense of the room, those of you who are not, we have many members of the Art Commission here. Those of you who are not on the Art Commission, were you aware that Truckee had an Art Commission before today? Just kind of, yeah, a few of you? Okay, great. So I want to just start a little bit in the beginning just to give some origin, and it looks like we skipped to the end. There we go. Let's see, I'll go to slideshow. Okay, thanks. So this is going to seem like just a little tease of what the Art Commission has been up to. I'll provide some links at the end if you want to dig in a little bit more deeply. So all the way back I think it started in about 2004. It was adopted in 2006. The town of Truckee updated its general plan. It was the 2025 general plan. And in Chapter 3, the community character element, there was one little phrase that planted the seed, which would later become the Public Art Commission. And it said, consider the preparation of a town arts master plan. 2004 to 2008, the Art and Culture Council of Truckee Tahoe was a regional coalition of artists and art organizations, which were also champions of the idea of creating a public art master plan. 2010 to 2020, the Truckee Public Art Commission was formed and operated through the Rec and Park District, and it was a body that was established to, it was sort of a placeholder for the Public Art Commission. They ran exhibits at the Rec Center. They also launched public art programs. So they created a program that placed the bike rack sculptures, several of which are at the Rec Center and then some downtown and one at the hospital. 2017, State Assembly Bill 189, which was the one that designated the idea of creating cultural districts throughout the state that Kellie talked about. Well, Truckee applied and won cultural district status. One of the founding goals within the cultural district application was to create a town public art master plan. 2019, the town established through community effort and adopted a public art master plan, and the town council assigned a new public art commission to help execute and implement the goals of the master plan. 2020, during the pandemic, the Public Art Commission convened over Zoom in September, and it was a slow getting together and figuring out getting our sea legs. But PACT now functions as an advisory body to the town council. It consists of 7 community members and 4 town staff, many of whom are in this room too. I got to put my glasses on for this one. This question often comes up, and it's the question of why public art? Why spend public funds? Why go through the effort of making building projects more complicated than they already are? And here's a few answers to that. So art in public places helps to define the physical and social character of a neighborhood, town, or region by animating public and private spaces, rejuvenating structures and streetscapes, and by inspiring community engagement through aesthetic placemaking. Public art humanizes the built environment and invigorates public spaces. Public art brings artists and their creative vision to the civic design-making process. Public art within a community has cultural, social, and economic value. It's a reflection of our society and part of the public history and evolving culture within an area. Not only does it add meaning to spaces, it allows communities to exhibit their uniqueness, and it adds an intersection between past, present, and future, between disciplines and between ideas. So, what has PACT been up to since 2020? Well, we first started, we actually didn't have a budget, and then over time the town council seeded some funding into the PAC. So we started out with some of the goals in the Public Art Master Plan that didn't require any funding. We created a catalog of the existing art inventory in town, and that's ongoing. Through the Public Art Master Plan process, this began, but we continued mapping and prioritizing site locations for future art projects. We created a process for selecting artwork and for commissioning artists. We participated with the 2040 General Plan update, which now has an entire section for art and culture at CC5 Public Art. We created policy guidelines for gifting artworks to the town. This was basically how a lot of the projects that you see around town were generated. They were gifts to the town, and then the town adopted those and found out ways to put those in place. We decided to stick with that. We created a temporary art program, which our first project will be at the Mobility Hub. We currently have hired a consultant to develop a funding strategy. We have a new project in the way, which I'll talk about later, which is the Church Street and Truckee Way roundabout. And then future goals involve developing guidelines for design team and private development collaborations, and we're looking for a project to work with that, and also to develop some educational, bilingual, and community outreach opportunities. So what about the art? As I mentioned, we decided to let funding develop in the coffers till we felt confident about executing the first project, and this was the Brockway Wall sculpture. It was installed in 2023. It's titled The Path. You can see here, many of you have seen it driving down into downtown. I kind of like to title it Stream of Consciousness. It was created by local artists Dominic Panziera and Danielle Garofalo, otherwise known as the team of Artletica, and it consists of a mosaic of tile, stone, painted elements, and aluminum pieces. And you can see, you can see how they took the architectural feature of the wall and just turned it into something else. And then the next project was titled Weightless. It's the fish sculpture over at the marina at Donner Lake. This was a collaboration between the town, Rec and Park, and Clean Up the Lake, which is an outfit that was contracted through the DIPS project, or DIPS Collective, which is a project that is ministered through the Truckee River Watershed Council. Clean up the lake, spent some time during the pandemic pulling trash out of the Donner Lake. And then the artists, Justina Selenkova and Joel Dean, took that trash and created the fish sculpture. And then coming in 2025, as I mentioned, the Church Street and Truckee Way Roundabout project, the RFQ, or release for request for qualifications, has just gone out last week. So we're right in the early phases of the selection process for this project. So this will be ongoing over the coming year, and look forward to that next year. And this is the part where if you want to take a photo or scan these, this is a link to the town website for the Public Art Commission. It's pretty easy to find. Our meetings are the first Tuesday of every month, 4 to 6 p.m. at Town Hall, just usually right down the hallway there. They're calendared on the town website. And this is a link to our annual work plan, which is not as easy to find, but it's buried on the town website there. And this outlines projects that are coming up over the next year. It really outlines our breakdown of budget and what we're looking at for budget forecasting and budget needs. And it also outlines a lot of the goals that we would like to take on in the coming year and into the following year. And that's it. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Troy Corliss with the Public Art Commission of Truckee. And up next we have Delana Ryan with the Truckee Community Theater. She is the board president, so welcome.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Delana. I do not have a slideshow because I found out I was doing this yesterday afternoon. So I am here to represent Truckee Community Theater. How many of you, by a show of hands, have seen a production by Truckee Community Theater? Wonderful. How many of you have seen one of our children's productions? Great. Oh, that's good to see that more of you have seen adult productions. So Truckee Community Theater has existed for 10 years, and we are what you would consider a nomadic theater company. What that means is we do not have a space of our own. We are in a partnership with the rec department, but that is not our space. We don't have full control of that little theater, even though it sometimes looks like we do. One of the things that we do a lot of is with our children's programming is we sort of fill in the gaps that the school district is unable to really do. Especially for our middle schoolers, they don't have any type of a theater program. And then we offer some programming at both Truckee Elementary cells and Glenshire between Carrie Haynes and myself going in and doing theater programs for the elementary school. High school is a little bit of a hybrid between us and the high school that does have some theater, but not as much as I think the kids would like. So when we think about performing arts, right, being live and what are some of the skills that come with that, not only is there the skill of acting and singing and dancing and all that wonderful stuff that goes on, but there's a lot of other elements. We have to work together. There's collaboration, there's public speaking, right? There's reading skills, right? All of this stuff that goes into putting on a show. And what I like to think is it is deadline oriented, right? When I'm working with the kids, especially, I go, hey guys, the curtain's going up, whether you're ready or not, right? And as adults, right, we need a little bit of that too, to realize that the show is happening at this day and this time, and we need to build through that moment. One thing we seek, aside from our big dream, which would be to have our own theater that wouldn't just be for Truckee Community Theater, obviously, right? We have a lot of musical opportunities here with other studios. We think about some of the dance studios. We think about the music studios. All of these places don't always have a space to perform in either without renting from another entity. That's our biggest cost, to be quite honest, for our company is our rent to TDRPD. So we're always kind of chasing money, as many of these arts organizations are, right? Chasing a little bit of money. But I think that the service that we provide to this community of giving an opportunity to have live theater in a small town is amazing, right? It's an amazing opportunity and different than our musicians or having public art. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Also, I was thinking as I was here listening to everyone talk and realizing that we are not necessarily doing our best to utilize some of our other artists here. When it comes to, you think of building a set and all the things that go and the scenic painting, and we need backstage, right? There's a whole show behind the show, as I like to say. We have kids involved in the tech, running the lights, running the sound, right? We're always seeking people in those other fields to be involved with us. And of course, things like creating a presentation, which clearly I'm awesome at, right? So just looking at ways to get involved. If you are interested in theater, we are always seeking volunteers for all of that, not just people that are on the stage, but people that are behind the stage too, doing that very important work in terms of getting a production up. So I think that's basically my little sales pitch about Truckee Community Theater. Thanks.
Delana Ryan with the Truckee Community Theater, and up next, Hilary Hobbs to give us a brief update on the River Revitalization Steering Committee from the town of Truckee.
Thank you, Raven. Excuse me. I'm here with an update that is not specifically about art, but is about creativity and community, and that is River Revitalization. So River Revitalization has been a key goal for our community since our first general plan. And in 2005, the town adopted a really robust river revitalization strategy. Since that time, we've made some progress, but perhaps not as much as the community would like. So after adoption of our last general plan in 2023, the town convened a River Revitalization Steering Committee, or R2SC, which is a diverse group of 18 community members, including the Chamber, TDMA, property owners, business owners, residents, and nonprofits to work together on how do we move this strategy forward with an action plan. And we've been convening that group since last July. We're not starting from square one. We're really building off of that existing strategy and figuring out what are some of the barriers to river revitalization, what are possible incentives we may need to put in place to help property owners and businesses either revitalize in place with things like stormwater improvements or landscaping improvements, or see if there are businesses that may be interested in relocating to other locations and how could we help them do that voluntarily. So we're at a point in this project where we are really looking for public input. We want to hear from the community on what is your vision on things you would like to see along the river, maybe things you wouldn't like to see along the river. We have a number of engagement activities and events happening over the next few weeks, so wanted to invite everyone to participate in those. This Thursday, we have a taco talk coming up at the Lift Workspace from 4 to 6. Come on out for free tacos and to share your ideas. Next Monday, we have a coffee chat at Cornerstone Bakery. And on Saturday, April 27th, we have a trailhead talk at the East River Trailhead from 11 to 1. So all that information is on the flyers on your tables. We also have a link to our website, which is townoftruckee.gov/river for more information. So please share your ideas. All of our meetings are open to the public, and we welcome and encourage folks to come on out and participate. Thanks.
Thank you, Hilary, and thanks to all our speakers. Let's give a big round of applause for everybody. Small community, but a lot of art support, and that's great. And we also just probably had the most speakers we've ever had at Good Morning Truckee, and we'll add some more. Who has a stump speech? You want to go around and tell us about what you've got going on? Jessica.
So on your table or flyers, we have our Truckee Job Fair coming up on May 1st at the Rec Center from 3 to 5:30. If you know someone looking for a new job or if you are hiring, you can reach out to Melissa and she can get you guys all set up. There'll also be free pizza, so that's always good. And then on Thursday, we have our April networking mixer at Thrift Details thrift shop from 5 to 7, and there will be adoptable puppies there. So yeah.
Nobody's gonna show up, right? Yeah.
That's, if nothing else, that's a good reason to show up to play with some puppies.
Right,
So,
right.
It's just team-friendly job. Yes, definitely. So, we are partnered with the school district as well. So summer jobs, things like that, as well as adults.
Yeah, April.
All right, I am just really excited to announce that Friends of the Truckee Library, Nevada County, Truckee Library JP has selected an architect library. So JP in partnership with Group 4, who is a library design specialist. So we're really excited. For more information, just go to Truckee FOL, sign up for our newsletter. We're going to be
Great. Sarah?
Thursday is a popular day this week. At Gallery 5830, we are hosting a talk by the Truckee Watershed Council and an art show by students at T. So there's a happy hour, and it's a little bit downtown.
Great. Thank you. Kathleen?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, with regard to Group 4, we will, I know that Friends of the Truckee Library, art team, we will.
Great. Yes.
Truckee Tahoe Community Chorus, we have our concert coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We're doing collaboration with the Diablo Valley Orchestra, College Orchestra, and tickets are available on .org. All the composers are.
Great.
I would like to
Excuse
our
me.
community arts center. Really unique. Everline is costing us close to $7,000 for 2 concerts.
Ooh.
So we're surviving on donate at a center if you will.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
Put June 26th on your calendar. We have Bonnie Portnoy, who just released a book. We have her, and she put together a book on grandfather's painting. Sheldon Denkin, who came up here in 1901 with Jack London, riding the rails, working in the mills. He painted over 4,000 paintings. So she's going to give a presentation, book signing, talk about Community Arts Center on Big Street.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
Live. Specialize. Oh, and we'll be
Thank you. April, can we build a theater with the library? JK, can you fit that in? Just a few extra dollars? Yeah, you know? Yeah, okay. Yeah, in the back. Thanks. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nathan
office boss, and would like to invite everyone to participate Thursday, May 9th, 5:30. All of the artists from 8 years old or above who have some.
Thank you. Yes, Becky.
So you might.
Yeah, thank
Hi. So radar, Catherine Hill, publisher. Literary.
Great.
We'll be
Thank you.
doing things.
Yeah, Colleen. You?
One last thing. If you have a
Thanks, Colleen. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes, back, very back. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, if not, we will go to the door prizes. And we will start with this here Truckee hat. And that will go to, I've got it, Steve Thompson of the Tahoe Truckee Community Chorus. Steve, matches your shirt.
Thank you.
We'll do this Truckee Bear Mug and a Good Morning Truckee return ticket, and that is going to Greg Zerbel. Oh, congrats. Jump up, yeah. Good eyes. Okay, next we'll do a Truckee, I'm gonna keep this a little more secret. Truckee bear painting created by Sierra Smith, and that is going, Sarah Smith. Going to Amber Burke of TTUSD. Amber. Next up is a Grizzly Menswear $25 gift card. Will go to Nath from the Office Boss. There you go. Oh, sorry. Whoops. Was that Grizzly Menswear? I missed. Which one do you want? You want a poster or the Grizzly Menswear? There you go.
I'm a printer.
There you go. Yeah, you can print that yourself. Next is what's already been given away and will be given away again is the Truckee Winter Wonderland poster going to Jenny Kendrick. Jenny Kendrick. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Good morning, Truckee. And the next will be on May 21st. We're going to be discussing land access and forest health. Hope to see you all back here. Have a good morning and a rest of your week. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, you too.